Good afternoon. All right, we're live for the crypto camp day number 4. We didn't have a class yesterday because of 4th of July, but yesterday was a day worth noting. It was very interesting on the charts. We had some of the worst liquidations of the year yesterday. A lot of traders recovered, took a lot of money to recover. Bitcoin still didn't recover fully from the dip. From Germany started to sell their bags. We had the Mt. Gox Bitcoin moving. So let's look at the chart today and see what's happening. So from the last big dips, we notice interesting this morning, 8:30 a.m., a lot of volatility increase. That was pretty wild. Today we're going to talk about some of the chart patterns and how to use them to maximize your profits. One thing worth noting, when I look at the Bitcoin chart here on TradingView, I'm going to talk about a chart pattern that failed. So let me explain something that sometimes will fall and sometimes will work. All right. On TradingView, we had a failed falling wedge. Why do you guys think this falling wedge failed? Because when we looked at the chart, the falling wedge probably failed because we got completely overbought in the 5 minutes. And in the same time frame, we were still overbought on the daily as well. This is my Bitcoin weekly chart, by the way. We had bottoms along at 54,900. Recently, we went to 56,500. So we already hit these longs. We already knocked all these longs out at 56,985. We conquered these longs, liquidated them, and we had a big bounce. Then we came back over here. We went as low as 53,000. So we actually, remember, this was at $53,730 bear flag target. We went to 53,486. So if you want to learn how to map these targets and try to get a pretty good idea about it, if you're opening like a long-term short or something at the tops, I'm going to teach you how on this stream today. But generally, bear flags, they work if the weekly and daily RSI are not completely overbought. Let's go to, in my Discord, I had this in Discord for you guys. Let's pop it up, show you real quick. So this was my post back in May 1st. This was the Bitcoins to consider, the bottom, $53,700. Where did we go on the bottom here? 53,557. So it went down even $150 lower than that bottom expectation. So we missed it by about 100. It went down $150 extra, which is good. So people were able to take profits on their shorts that had their shorts at that time, around 53,700, and that's why we got that big bounce. And now when we look at this chart here, let's take this off. Let's zoom in. I just want to zoom in this candle. 53,481. I just want to map this low that we went to. And this happened on 4th of July. Oh shit, this is a lot bigger than I thought. So I'm just trying to get this chart compiled together before I go a little bit deeper, because some indicators I really like, some chart patterns I really like, but there's others that just don't work out for us. They don't work out for us at certain moments in time.
Should I send USDT to Fairdesk?
You can if you're gonna do the copy there. I am slowing down on the copy after that last move because I'm gonna go more aggressive style since we hit a local bottom.
That's fine.
You're a little bit late to the party because yesterday, this morning had like the best opening positions.
Yeah, I know. But it's not over yet. It might come back down. There's still more bids down there in 45.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right.
So, with that being said, what should I transfer?
USDT on the well, you have to use Ethereum network from Coinbase probably.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to mess up. I'm on it now. Okay, USDT from Ethereum. Is there a cheaper way?
You can send Doge over if you think Doge is going to go up over time.
Okay. I'll just let you know in a minute.
I do have a shelf full of rocks and boulders, brethren. Behind me. A lot of rocks that I mined. I was trying to prove that it's a lot harder to physically mine stuff than it is to mine Bitcoin. Even a handicapped person can mine Bitcoin. Very hard for handicapped people to go out there, physically mine gold, physically mine boulders. So let's jump into the chart patterns for you guys. I'm going to show you some of my favorite chart patterns. But before I show you any chart patterns, let me show you this cool thing that I put in the Discord announcements earlier today about TradingView being on sale. 70% off. So this is very important for you guys. If you plan on getting TradingView and don't have it yet, they have the discount for Independence Day. It's for another 2 days, 6 hours. But I recommend you get the premium. The premium with this for about $215 per year. If you can't earn $215 per year minimum trading, don't get it. If you don't think you can earn that much per year, don't get it. But this is literally only 2 cents more than Plus per month. That extra 2 cents, oh my God, it's so much better for premium. Look, you get the auto chart patterns. This is going to teach you those patterns as well. I'll put that link for you guys. I'm not getting any commission for sharing this link, by the way. I'm just letting you guys know that this is on sale. But if you're gonna pay for it, pay for premium. It's only 2 cents more per month, and you get those auto chart trading patterns. It's totally worth it. So go ahead and look at this. It's worth it. I'm going to show you a little bit about those auto chart patterns for you guys as well. Let's go back over here. I have this chart. I'll just use it. This is a Bitcoin chart. Let's put Bitcoin, I think 30 minutes. You see a lot of chart patterns on the 30 minutes. Those usually play out very well. All right, so I'm going to go over here. In our lesson on July 1st, our very first lesson, I mentioned to you guys that Bitcoin failed to break the 4-day downtrend. And this was from 28 days ago. By failing to break the 4-hour downtrend, it was still in a bearish pattern. What's up? Kesven. So this was a bearish pattern. Let me show you a little bit of something about this as well. And I do have the chart here. This is my ethers. Let's add a chart pattern that I like. So I'm going to go to my indicators on TradingView. Go to technicals. Click on patterns on the right side. And we're going to look at the some of the wedges. Look at the rising wedge and the falling wedge. So right here, we had the rising wedge, and then we had the falling wedges as well. This was a bigger rising wedge, so we're going to hide the falling wedge for a moment. I just want to talk about the rising wedge, because rising wedge is a very bearish indicator, and it can play out very well. So let me add this on the chart for you guys. Rising wedge chart pattern. Very bearish. So the rising wedge chart pattern is very bearish, and how does it play out? So how does it play out? If the RSI is overbought on weekly, daily, or 4 hour, it can play out
down up with a pole.
RSI overbought again on smaller time frames. So this bearish chart pattern that I'm showing you guys, also we have it mapped out by TradingView. And then number 3, this one's also very important. Rejected at resistance or rejected or number 4, rejected breaking downtrend. So this is ways that a rising wedge chart pattern can make the price of Bitcoin fall. And we're going to go over here. We're going to look at the setup. So this was the June 24th, 2024. This was at the bottom of the wedge. And things to note. If rising wedge plays out, you'll make a lower low than the beginning of the wedge. And theoretically, drop under moving average on short-term time frame if using the 30-minute chart. So we're probably going to drop under the moving average, and this is on 30-minute chart. Let me let's free up some real estate. You guys don't need to track that P&L on my current trade for my Doge long or that stuff down there. I'm going to try to move this around for you guys so you can read it a little bit. And let me take a screenshot of this. This is pretty educational for you guys to learn. And then we're going to see the target of this rising wedge as well. Is YouTube blurry for you guys, or can you see like 1080p? Let me check real quick. It's giving me like the very low resolution. Let me double check this resolution for you guys as well. I want to make sure you're able to read this stuff. Okay, I can read it on the other screen, so that's good. It's at 1080p. Plenty enough resolution for you guys to read. I'm just going to screenshot this. I'm going to throw this in my Discord. Make sure you change your settings to 1080p if you don't see it well. Some devices put on that autoplay, so make sure you change to 1080p if you want to have the best view. But I'm going to take a screenshot of this chart. I'm going to add this to my Discord charts as well. I'm going to say example of rising wedge. On. So this chart is going to be in the chart shown on Discord. We'll be able to look at that as well. I'm just documenting this. And we'll look at some other chart patterns as well, just to keep update. So remember, trading views on sell, you can get indicators like this that will draw it for you, but this is a rising wedge. You can see the green going up here. You see these lines. I'll draw it for you if you cannot see it, but basically Bitcoin, it hit the resistance, came back down, bounced back up. And then from here, it was expected to come down at 63,000. It failed to break that 4-hour downtrend as well. We went over this the other day, which was very important. If you fail to break a significant downtrend, it will make the big players sell. So the RSI on the weekly and daily, let's check out what that RSI was on the June 24th on that day. So June 24th, back here. The daily RSI was already oversold on the daily. And it wasn't like this at the beginning of that day. It's like more like this. So it was oversold on the daily. But remember, the weekly dominates the daily. And this is what this weekly RSI looks like. Weekly RSI was not completely oversold yet, so it still have room to come down. So as long as weekly RSI is still coming down and not completely oversold, you still have a chance of that rising wedge to play out and price of Bitcoin to drop. And we look at the 4-hour. We saw right when this was happening. We zoom in here. I don't know if I want to put this on here. I think I will. I'm going to add a note, I guess. Well, I already put this screenshot. Let me mention that the RSI was completely overbought on the 4-hour. Let's take this one down. I don't need that in the screenshot. So the RSI is completely overbought on the 4-hour. Price right before. And that Bitcoin price was about 63,743. And then we got rejected as well. It's a lot to add in the it's a lot to add in one chart. Try and get this on here as well. So Bitcoin failed to break that downtrend on the 4-hour, and we had this 30-minute chart pattern as well. So on the 30-minute, we had a 30-minute rising wedge, and we also had a 4-hour rising wedge. You get the same indicator on both time frames. It's a little bit more powerful. And then we started losing the bullish momentum. So, looking back now, it would have been a very optimal time to. Now we're losing bearish momentum, but looking back, it would have been an optimal time to get out of the Bitcoin position. Say if you're a big government, if you're Germany, optimal time to sell. People are saying you're stupid for selling, but this is the optimal time to sell because if you look at the chart here, the price came down over 15%. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. And this is the rising wedge. And we fell below the target. And why did we fall below the target? Because Bitcoin and crypto has way lower liquidity than stocks. So the very smart people in Germany realized that that was a good area to start selling. So they took the opportunity. And I'm going to put this in the chart. So it went lower, like 53, 536. So this also completed our bear flag target that we had before on a similar pattern. And it played out very nasty. So the lesson we learned here is that it's good to take profits at the top of the rising wedge. And TradingView is mapping this out while it's charting. So yeah, it went up 8% in 6 days, but people knew it was going to drop. And that's the rising wedge. Now, let's look back at the 30-minute time frame about this rising wedge and the TradingView target that they had set. So TradingView had a target right here of this rising wedge of 58,000. We not only fulfilled it, but we dropped lower because of liquidations on Bitcoin. And that's worth noting. That's why we dropped lower. I have the liquidation chart right here, and it shows those lines. That's why we went lower. So even hitting right here, it triggered a big sell. Let me add that screenshot as well. You guys are learning a little bit more about the rising wedge, which is it's an indicator that you can use for taking profits or for entering a short if you're brave enough to short Bitcoin and other cryptos. But this Bitcoin rising wedge liquidated huge amounts of longs. All right, let me add this to the chart channel as well, because we're keeping chart data here. It's going to be good for people. This is the 30-minute start. And this is the rising wedge, by the way. Rising wedge for Bitcoin. Take a screenshot if you haven't already taken a screenshot, and you can kind of get a better idea. So we learned today here so far from the rising wedge that it's completely bearish, and it can make the price drop hard, especially if that weekly RSI is not completely oversold. The times when this would fail, if the weekly RSI is completely oversold, like 5 or 4, lower than that, it's probably going to fail the rising wedge. But the longer time frames, this could fulfill, especially this 30 minutes, and then when you combine it to that 4-hour, we saw really that breaking point. Let me remind you one more time. The breaking point of this rising wedge was right here when the relative strength index was completely overbought. Like that was the absolute last moment people could have sold or gotten out with some profits before smart money, Germany, and other big players started dumping on our faces. If you guys don't know about this indicator, go to indicators, type RSI. It's going to pop up relative strength index. You add that to your chart. You can double click it to modify the settings. I put sits for my length just by default. And I like this orange color for my RSI. For the visibility, you can change it, but I just leave this by default, 70 and then 25 for the lower band. I like 25 for the lower band because I don't want to buy on 25. I want to buy like much lower. Like on the 4-hour oversold, this would have been a decent scalp entry for Bitcoin. Just looking at the RSI, but you could have looked at other things like the MACD as well. MACD was actually very lagging. So the people that are getting in from that oversold point, from that MACD, and from my 4-hour green blocks that triggered, we see that now we started losing that bearish momentum. So we talked about what happened. Now let's talk about where we are, because I know that's what you guys want to know. All right. It's not really a chart pattern, but a chart pattern is going to form from this, by the way. And I'm going to show you what chart pattern I think will form from this. I'm just going to draw it out. This is forward thinking. It's not something we see, but it's something that I'm predicting will happen. So now we are recover from being oversold 4-hour. So RSI already recovered from being oversold in 4-hour. We're starting to losing bearish momentum and gaining bullish divergence. You're probably going to see, this is one you're going to see a lot of people posting on social media. You're going to see a lot of people saying that Bitcoin is picking up bullish divergence on social media. Let's just go to ets.com real quick. Take a quick break. Go to ets.com. Let's type Bitcoin. Bitcoin is picking up bullish divergence on the 4-hour charts. Let's finish this chart, compose it, and put it on Twitter. So this is the one where it's gaining that bullish divergence as well. Why is it gaining bullish divergence? Well, when you look here, the RSI, RSI is making higher lows, while the Bitcoin price actually made lower lows. It would be better to illustrate just these two together, but we can see lower lows, and then we recovered. Now we're getting that bullish divergence for Bitcoin on the 4-hour. You'll see a lot of people. Go to Twitter, type bullish divergence. You'll see a lot of people talking about this right now, probably. Because bullish divergence on the MACD, that's a long-term indicator that a lot of retail traders rely on. And I'm going to say probably beginning of inverse head and shoulder pattern. So this probably right here going to be the beginning of an inverse head and shoulder right here, with this part being the head. I think that this could be the inverse head and shoulders, which would be bullish. And then let's zoom in over here. Try to get this line up a little bit more. This is Bitcoin 4-hour chart, so we're probably bullish on this. Bullish. Let me take a screenshot. I'm going to show this in charts channel. And this is reminder, after that rising wedge played out and we dropped down, we fulfilled that bearish momentum. We already picked it up, hit that bottom, and then started recovering. And then here we are now. I'm going to put this in Discord. And in Discord, I went the extra mile right here for you guys real quick. I said, here we are now today. We recovered from the rising wedge dip. Now we may be forming an inverse head and shoulders pattern. with target back towards 72,565 resistance for Bitcoin. That may be one way we go. We already lost that bearish momentum on the MACD. We already started picking up bullish divergence. We started recovering from being oversold on the 4-hour. The weekly is not completely there yet, but the daily gave it enough room in that dip. So let me show you guys real quick what an inverse head and shoulders look like. Let me type inverse head in Discord and see if there's one that played out. We may have to go to a stock, but yeah, we'll go to a stock for this one real quick. I see one that played out for me recently. So this was Lilium. Lilium right here. I had this chart back in 2023. I mentioned that people could start researching. It has an inverse head and shoulders. Inverse head and shoulders is bullish. So you have the head down here at the bottom. You have the right shoulder. You have the left shoulder. And it had that price target up here. Very bullish price target. I don't think we've hit it yet, but we're going to pull up the Lilium chart real quick and go from there. Just to see how that stock played out. So it was about 71 cents when I made this chart. It was on the daily time frame. Oh, great. Lilium's perfect. This is a perfect chart because it also has a failed rising wedge. So look at Lilium right here. We're going to go with that rising wedge that failed real quick. This target did fall. Why did the rising wedge fall for Lilium? It was already oversold on the 4-hour, the daily. You go over here to the weekly, and it was even more oversold as well. So I believe Lilium did not complete that on the daily because it was already in those oversold areas. It had to drop down. It didn't go all the way down. And this is a stock. It was already in low. It was already oversold. So if we look on the April 11th right here and go back here on the chart, try to find April 11th as well. It wasn't like overbought or anything. And actually spiked up to like $1.30. It became super bullish and they had good news. So I'm going to mention that this was a failed rising wedge. Let me add these notes over here. So let's add these real quick for now. My face is in the way. Let me move it for you guys. The reason number one that Lilium failed to hit that rising wedge on the daily time frame is because we were not overbought on the weekly or daily, and the stock was oversold on the 4-hour plus the daily when we got over there. We're going to illustrate this as well. Let me just focus on this RSI plus the chart pattern. And you look right here, we were oversold and it recovered from being oversold. And that created bullish divergence. Let me add that on the chart as well. We might have to go a little bit lower if I can. Great. This looks good. So these are two things. You see that bullish divergence that was forming here. The price hit those lower lows, but RSI hit higher highs. So it was looking like this. Boom, boom. So we were getting up there. We were getting that bullish divergence over here. And measure it over here. And we can even like measure all the way over if you want to. But this drop right here, we had the bearish divergence and it started getting it closer right here on that short time frame. I don't know, the RSI is just so stretched out right here. All right, let's see if I can add this to the chart as well. How does it look? This looks okay. But this is an example of a failed rising wedge in conditions that will make it fail. So thesis. If you predict that a rising wedge will fail, you can start to accumulate the stock. So that was our thesis. And then you can start taking profits RSI over Bolt. And can I fit all of this in one chart? I think this is okay. All right, I can throw all this on one chart over here for you guys, and we can go from there. But the main thesis is that if you think your rising wedge will fall or like fell and not do what it says it's going to do, just accumulate. And you can do this for a lot of stocks, a lot of cryptos, if you have the fundamentals for your favor. Let's throw this in the chart channel as well. So this is like trading predicting that the chart pattern will not complete itself. And the profit from that, if you started to accumulate down there when RSI is oversold, about 81 cents or 78 cents, and take profit at $1.29, you would have made about actually a pretty decent bag. So let's say you accumulate at 80 cents. So if they bought it at 80 cents, take profit at $1.25. Let's see how much money they would have taken and earned from this trade. About 80 cents, maybe a little bit more fees to $1.25. That's about 56% earnings. It's not bad. It's not bad that they would have earned 56% from this trade right there by purchasing the stock in prediction that the rising wedge would fall. I would take it. It's a lot of money. I would take that money. Let me throw this in chart channel real quick. All right. And there's a good gentleman in the Discord named Rob Coy that brought to my attention Lilium back when it was a little bit cheaper. And I think he might appreciate these charts as well. So they were able to earn 56. So let me explain something very simple for this as well. The retail trader, even though they predict that the rising wedge will fall, the rising wedge will fail, they're not going to buy when RSI is overbought. They're going to wait until it's completely oversold. You have to wait until this thing is oversold or you're going to get screwed for a while. Because if you would have bought it up here, we're not oversold yet, we're leaning towards it, you would have paid about 90 cents. And you would have only earned about 39%. So you have to wait. They had to wait on the RSI being completely oversold. And then they could have started buying in. We can look at other stocks that are similar. Let me tag Rob Coy in this as well. But this was a Lilium chart. And if I go to my Discord and I type Lilium, we see this. I typed the word Lilium. I mentioned that we should research it, and Rob was putting articles back here in this stock in 2023 as well. This company was really dealing with the jets. So there's people that was talking about this stock for a while, and then I didn't really start charting it until Rob sent me something. I looked at it, and I told him I would look at the chart. And this is that chart that I had on the daily at that time. We had an inverse head and shoulders that was forming. And it failed because it had a very extreme target up here above $2.50. Usually the inverse head and shoulder will play out on the daily if you are oversold, and it was oversold. It didn't play out, but it bounced up significantly that retail traders could take profit because it came back above that 200 exponential moving average. So you can use the inverse head and shoulder as well, which is another chart pattern that I like. And I brought up the inverse head and shoulders because I think Bitcoin could be forming an inverse head and shoulder. Let me save this chart. Go back to Bitcoin, crypto. I think it could be forming an inverse head and shoulders. We're a little bit early. Our rising wedge hit the daily target at 53,962. So we're going to go over that as well for Bitcoin. And we're going to go over this. We're going to take off the liquidations so we don't get this confused. We hit both of the targets, by the way, on the daily. So the daily is more primed to hit both targets. Actually, I can, I'll take this off. We already put this chart that I think it's going to be an inverse head and shoulder. Take this off. Let's delete this. We're going to clean up this chart so I can draw the other things for you about the rising wedge. Just so you can learn a little bit more about this pattern. It helps you know when to take profits. So I'm going to add a note up here. Let's clean up the RSI as well. So we got overbought in the RSI before this rising wedge. So we're going to add this right here. We're going to say this bearish divergence did start the rising wedge, by the way. So we had bearish divergence starting into this rising wedge. RSI failed to break higher. This one was overbought right here. So I'm going to add the take profits that you should have taken on this chart. So we had the rising wedge forming, and you could have taken profits at a double top, but that would have been risky. I'll add it on there. But I'll say short. This one would have been more of a short entry right here, because we had that double top. Double top combined with rising wedge is very bearish. And I'm going to add this right here. And I'm going to add a note beside this so it's easier to read. So this was the top of the double top, and this was the top of the rising wedge right here. That was the main thesis of shorting. And then right here, you would have taken profits on the long, but we're overbought and we're in the rising wedge. And this was also near like a previous double top. So you would have taken profit on long. We're going to add a note here as well. These rising wedges, it's a very good chart pattern. Previous double top. So this is actually a triple top. Triple top. And so this was overbought. Overbought. And this is also overbought. I have to add that one here as well. We're going to add so many things on here. Let's make this one red as well, so it's easier to know like what to buy, what to sell. All right. So this was a triple top here. Triple top and top of rising wedge. So if you're holding Bitcoin, and we could go back to get the entry at a better area, because you don't want to buy it up here. And I already had this, I had this pattern on here as well for you guys. But this was a triangle that we've seen as well. So, and that was predicting price would go down as well. I already had this on here. But we're going to take a picture of this rising wedge and mention as well what people should have done. Let me get this chart looking good for us over here. Make sure everything's easy to read. RSI failed to break higher. And that was at 72K price. This was all-time high for Bitcoin right here. Let me zoom in. I'm going to get you that all-time high real quick as well. We're going to add this on the chart. It's going to be price label. Let me zoom in. Magnet, price label. And we're going to say all-time high. I guess we'll make this one gold. Recognize it a little bit different. But also, rising wedges love to play out after you hit all-time high on something. Usually that's how rug pulls start. The first pattern you're going to see, you'll hit the all-time high. You'll start the triple top, or sometimes we don't even make a triple top. Sometimes double top, and then that rising wedge starts, and then boom, the floor comes out from under you. All right. I don't know. This is a little bit sketch up here. All right, there it goes. Can we see everything? Get everything good and easy to read. All right, let me add the word Bitcoin on here so people know this is Bitcoin. I don't think any other crypto went to 73K. And I'm going to name this the danger of rising wedge. Gotta drag this down so we're not on that line. The danger of the rising wedge. So guys, type rising wedge in the chat if you're afraid of rising wedge now. If you think you should take profits at the top of a rising wedge on the daily after Bitcoin hit an all-time high. Man, so here's another dangerous view of the rising wedge. Here's the other dangers to consider for rising wedge. They love to play out after hitting all-time high for cryptos. Actually, most rug pulls, if they even make a double or triple top, are likely to form a rising wedge before the price starts to come down over 99%, or I'll say over 95%. But this is the rising wedge. If you haven't learned any chart pattern from me ever before, learn about the rising wedge. It can save your profits. It can teach you when to take profits. So, smart money starts to get out after stuff like this. So guys, if you want to learn how to get these chart patterns drawn for you automatically, because I won't always be here. I will not always be here to give you chart patterns and stuff, and you guys know that life comes at you fast. So let me teach you how you can get these same chart patterns drawn for you automatically. Don't be cheap. Go to this link for TradingView Independence Day. This is just the link that I saw TradingView share earlier today. It is the official TradingView if you want to double check their links, if you want to research their social media. But they have this 2-day sale for Independence Day. You want the premium plan. Why do you want the premium plan for this chart? Well, not only do you get 8 charts per tab, which is pretty cool. My YouTube, I'm running 4. But you get way more indicators, 25 more indicators, and you get over 20,000 historical bars. But that's not the best part. Here's the best part right here. You get the auto chart patterns. This is the best part. These are the chart patterns that are drawing for me. Let's go back here. Let's go to the chart. This is one of them. Let's open up NVIDIA. Let me save this. You guys need a moment to take a screenshot. I had it on there for a while, but take a screenshot of the rising wedge so you know how dangerous it is. The goal of the rising wedge is to be able to open a short or to be able to take profits. I was able to do both. I put a chart in Discord. I was taking profits daily. I was selling Bitcoin every single day. A little bit before all-time high, after all-time high, almost every single day. I was selling some Bitcoin. And the rising wedge is one of those things that helped encourage me. But let me show you something very interesting right here. Let me show you this area right here, because this area right here, retail traders got wrecked. In this area right here, we're going to watch a YouTube video of retail traders getting wrecked. This one is interesting. we're going to go back down history lane because this is really a dangerous area for Bitcoin. And it's good to see how it played out because we had the video, we had the charts. And we get to see it back before. So let's watch the video here. So this is what we seen in the morning. All right. So remember, this part of the video here, when Bitcoin is at 71,000, is this part of the video here in the yellow area. Well, not exactly yellow, but let's see, 50, where's 50? Yeah, it's around this area. Let's see real quick. Nope, I'm wrong. So older is back here. Let's double check real quick because I have it lined up with the charts. This is April 17th. I did a little bit before April, so it's back here. About April 12th, right here. This is around the time this video was done. So some people were still expecting a Bitcoin to break out. It had to drop down to about 67K, but it also was dropping down 68K. The video is about right here. We didn't have this big drop down all the way up to 50K. I meant 59K. We were still in this range. So this video was right here in the yellow. And in this yellow, we were still at the top of this rising wedge. So there's some traders, even though they saw the rising wedge on Bitcoin, even though we were at all-time high, not that far away, we were at the top of the rising wedge, we were still getting in the overbought zone. Some traders took a long at this area. Let's look at the chart and see how this played out. What would be your take profit if you went long at 70? Like 6%. Sometimes it doesn't go down that much. But Doge is still trading around 19. We still didn't break that local top that we made above that 20 cents range either. But I'd be more bullish on Doge than Bitcoin near tops like this. Is there anybody here that would be willing to go long on Bitcoin right now on this very small dip at 70,000? So I asked if anybody would go long on this dip at 70,000, and look at the chart here. It might have seemed attractive at this time, but when you switch out to a daily, if you were to put your weekly chart around April 10th right here, if you look at your weekly chart as well, look at the RSI. Just a few days before that, we're overbought on the weekly. So this was like the super danger zone. I hope you learned that this was a danger zone. Let's go through and let's play this real quick and see.
Yep.
What would be your take profit if you went long at 70,000? Was that Imad? Imad was like, nope. I was like, would you go long at 70K here? Imad's like, nope. BJ's like, yep. Let's see how this goes.
82.
Okay. So she says she would go long at 70K with take profit of 82. Is 82K realistic at that time? It could have been a possibility. It could have been a possibility. But looking at what we see, even at that time, like we knew that the RSI was overbought. That was like a gamble trade right there. Hoping for another new all-time high. Even though the RSI has been coming down. And the RSI was coming down, scaling down for over 28 days at this time and still wasn't completely oversold. And it wasn't even halfway oversold. So this was a gamble hoping for 82K. Where did we eventually find ourselves? Did we go to 82K? No. If you're in at 70K and hoping for 82K, we already dropped down over 23% while people are waiting for that 82K. And when we look here, let's go a little bit deeper in this video. This is the trading zone that even the most seasoned trader is going to get wrecked on by charts because the fundamentals are going to come in the way. The charts are there for like the bear side, short side, but the fundamentals are going to get in the way here. There's going to be people with more money than us moving the price down and making so much money shorting MicroStrategy here. It's going to be. So I mentioned here they're going to move the price down. They're going to short MicroStrategy, and people with more money than us, they were going to move the price down. What happened? The country of Germany moved the price of Bitcoin down. The Mt. Gott's Bitcoin being transferred, moved the price down. So I did a Bitcoin short during this time. I was very adamant that the price was going to come down during this time, so I opened a Bitcoin short. And I had some low leverage Doge plays that I hedged against my Bitcoin shorts because I knew that if Doge exploded, at least my Bitcoin shorts would be able to balance that out. And I was shorting Bitcoin at this time. There's a lot of people, I saw them shorting Bitcoin at the 70K. So you had the people long at 70K hoping for the breakout, and you had the people shorting at 70K that knew it was going to come down. We didn't really go above 70K that much. If you measure here, we actually dropped under 70K by over 23%, and the most we went over 70K was like up here 71K. So it's like 0.36%. So it was like a 23%. The risk to reward wasn't there. The people that shorted Bitcoin and hedged all their longs shorting Bitcoin made the right move. And this is the power of the triple top, the rising wedge, triple top combined with rising wedge while you're overbought daily, weekly. All-time high was a very interesting point. The moment Bitcoin hit that all-time high and we had this big wick here, it created a lot of resistance around 70K, even at 69K. A lot of people are very comfortable selling at the body of that wick, and look at the body of that wick. The most that we went above that body of the wick afterwards was about 4.5%. So even the people that took profits early after getting rejected from all-time high, they're like, oh, fuck, no, I'm out of here. Price still went down from that 69K at least another 22%. So you can use this indicator. You can use the chart pattern of the rising wedge to help you A, take profits, and B, know when to short. C, you can use it to hedge your longs. Usually people start hedging their longs when it's funding fee times as well. Just so that you can make the most out of it. So this is one indicator that if you really want to secure your profits and take your profits, you really, really need to take into consideration the rising wedge and also the inverse. So we can also look at the falling wedge, which is going to be a bullish chart pattern. So let's go there now. We've already seen the bearish, we've seen the bad. Let's take a quick intermission to look at the charts to see how stuff is doing right now. And then we're going to go to the other chart patterns. So this is what we see now. I'm looking at the charts here. I had a GameStop up here earlier. I'm probably going to replace GameStop. Let's put Matic. I haven't seen Matic up here in a while. I guess Bitcoin should be all capital too. Well, I'm at it. Let's just make it look more professional, more unison. So we got Bitcoin, we have Matic. Whoa! Matic's 46 cents. Wow. Okay. Wow. I haven't traded Matic in, wow. I haven't traded Matic in a long time. Wow. Okay. So we just went over the rising wedge. Let's go to the falling wedge. We're going to go back to this Bitcoin chart. And we're going to go over here. We're going to turn off the rising wedge. And we're going to look at the falling wedge. Falling wedge is bullish. To view that, we have to go all the way back. This was near that day one of the bull market, by the way. It's very, very interesting how this lines up with the day one bull market for crypto. Man. I probably have so many things right here to delete just to clean this chart. Wow. Mm. I see more downside still coming. So I'll talk about that after we go over this chart pattern. Right now in the short time frame, we have some more upside though. But the more macro, we have a little bit more downside to that 40K. And I'm going to speak a little bit how we're going to get there. We are going to go there. I promise you, we are going to go to 40K. So what you're trading now, you're trading short term. You're trading short term right now, hoping for some quick gains before we go to that 40K. There are still people with over 300,000 Bitcoin that they are not going to keep. They already said they're not going to keep it and they're going to sell it. So you have to get ready. So yeah, we can scalp in a short time frame, but understand your risk. We will go under 40K. It's a matter of time. I think this guy's in prison right here. I have to double check. Man, Kramer tweeted at the bottom right here and then it started bouncing. It's very funny. All right. So is this my this is my weekly chart. But yeah, this is a falling wedge on the weekly. You guys don't need all of that. We're going to start this chart fresh over here for this falling wedge on the weekly. I think we were measuring the dips right here. I had some bars trying to pull them on the other side. I can pull those out after and measure again from these dips compared to other dips. I'll leave those lines. So, this is the Bitcoin falling wedge on the weekly. This is a bullish indicator. The start of the wedge, we were overbought completely, and then we finally got oversold near the bottom. The area where we got completely oversold though was right here when my green lot started popping in. That was in June. And then we had a good bounce here. We had a very good bounce here. So we got oversold here, and then we had tametheark green block on the weekly, which is pretty cool. And this was the price about I'm gonna add the price down here as well at the bottoms, about 19,000. Let's make this back white again. So this is my first green blocks at that time. My first big green blocks coming at that time over we started getting the bullish divergence right here at 24K. When we broke 24K above 22. So we started getting bullish divergence there as well for Bitcoin when we're looking back here. So the people that got in a little bit early at that 19K, they created that buy pressure. We went up to 22K. Price pushed up drastically. It even went close to 25K. It created a bullish divergence, but then we came back down. FTX started dumping everything, and Bitcoin went under 16,000. So even the people right here that went long at 25K, they got wrecked because we dropped over 33%. We didn't drop 50%, which was good, 33. And let's talk about this bullish divergence. Is predict that the price is going to go up. So how do you trade it? You can buy before or after. These people would have bought it here at about 18K. So this actually trapped retail for quite a period of time. Let me add that note. Let's look at the target. We reached that target of 46 above 46.7K. Wow. And actually, after we hit that target, we did drop down back to 38K. So actually, the people that did take profit on that target and when we was overbought, they looked like geniuses. And then not that much later, after the people took profits here, within less than 100 days, we started getting those rising wedges. So people took the falling wedge, they started buying, and then they started taking profits up here. So I'm going to add this to the chart. And this would have been an early take profit, by the way. But you would have got saved from this big dip right here. And look at the strategy, the charts here. We were overbought completely. So I'll add this to the chart as well. And it's very interesting when you see that these are the two main indicators that created people accumulating and then taking profit. They accumulate after the falling wedge told them to buy, and they sold at the rising wedge. But Bitcoin was overbought, so people started selling it up here, and they really didn't get a chance to re-enter. So the people that really held it, the number one thing that kept them holding, possibly holding or re-entering again, was that parabolic SAR flipping, which was right here at 41K. So I'll add that to the chart as well. About 41.4. So they probably re-entered at 41.4 on that parabolic SAR entry over there. And this indicator, you go to indicators, type parabolic SAR. You can do strategy or you can type parabolic SAR. For my indicators, I think it's deleted, but it's just basic parabolic SAR. Most of them do the same thing. Dots on bottom bullish, dots on top bearish. Let's clean this chart just a tad bit more so that we can get these two chart patterns. And it's very long. We're just going over two chart patterns so far. We did get like a double top, double bottoms in there, but we got the triple top up here. Maybe we got some double bottoms down here. What do you guys think? I'm sure some people went long on Bitcoin in this area. Anywhere from 19,000 to 25,000 people started buying Bitcoin very heavily compared to the all-time highs from before. Like I've seen some people trades on my Discord. I've seen people accumulate in that area and make more money than the previous years. If crypto continues doing stuff like this, it may be very profitable for trading rather than holding. So this chart's getting a little bit clustered over here. It's not a million lines like some people's charts, but still. This is where the 4K and like super ultra wide monitor comes in, and then when you take a screenshot, everything's together. But YouTube doesn't have that format. We're like 1080p. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna push this over, and then you would have bought 19K, or on the recovery, up to retest oversold at about 17K. You could have waited until it's even lower under that moving average, but most people waited until the news came out that FTX was almost done. But this is what that strategy looks like. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. And then volume was picking up as well. Now volume fell off. The scary thing about where we have like low volume and low liquidity. This is where we are now. This scares me right here. Low volume and low liquidity, that means like lower sells can make the price dump. And when you have people, I already calculate over 300,000 Bitcoin together that wants to sell it on our faces. Even like two of those people start selling some on the same day, we are fucked. I can do this a little bit. I think this will be the thing that I'm gonna do. We don't really need these over here, I guess, but we can get them up there. How does this look? The falling wedge, and then you can put them side by side as well. All right, so I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. I'm gonna put this in the charts as well. You okay? I see your mic's lighting up and making some moaning sounds. Thank you. So this is the falling wedge on the weekly BTC chart. And this is a very powerful indicator that you can use for teaching you when to accumulate. I challenge you guys for homework today. Go out and make like 5 charts using falling wedge and rising wedge and come up with a trading strategy. You don't know what's going to happen, so come up with a strategy. Right. And during this time, let's look at the other things. Anybody have any questions before we go on a little bit deeper into this lesson about chart patterns and how you can use them to accumulate the most profits for yourself, for your trading strategy? Does anyone want to try live right now?
What's up?
Anybody want to try live right now? Let me know. And we can give you a little bit of hand. If anybody wants to practice, I can help guide you right now on a chart, and we can try to come up with a trading strategy based off of that chart with either the rising wedge or falling wedge pattern or any other pattern. But if you look over here, we had like the double bottoms. If you zoom in on Bitcoin here, if you were waiting for that double bottom, this area right here, triple bottom at 18K. 1, 2, 3, triple bottom, but that was 3 weeks in a row, triple bottom. So people got very impatient after that triple bottom, and that's why the price spiked up. So I'm gonna add this note right here. Triple bottom, and this buy pressure from triple bottom. That's a buy pressure from triple bottom. And that's what made the price go up by about 33%. And this is Bitcoin. All right. I'm going to take a picture of this chart as well. This is going deeper in that chart that we just saw, just to analyze some other aspects of that chart. And this is Bitcoin rising wedge, triple bottom. And actually at the bottom of the wedge, we didn't hit lower. That was like our low right there. And let me add that in there too. Inside the falling wedge Bitcoin 1 week chart. And I'm going to add this to the chart as well. And these charts may give you some guidance when you're looking back and wondering what to do when you see a certain pattern. Looking back, we see the triple bottom inside of this falling wedge, which created buy pressure and pushed us near the other side of the wedge. Price went up over 33% as a result before getting overbought on smaller time frames and huge sell pressure. Then a few weeks later, FTX news came out that they were insolvent, and then the market took a bigger dip, resulting in our real bottom based off of fundamental events playing out, showing us the big players who were liquidated. And I'm going to zoom in on that. November 11th. And this was Tame the Ark, which is me, called Absolute Bottom Day 1 Crypto Bull Market 2022. And this is what we saw over here. And I was really rushing to do those green blocks right when it happened. And we were oversold during this time as well and starting to recover, but we also had the fundamentals news that came in too. So after the news played out and the fundamentals were played out, we had the technicals in our favor. Bullish divergence forming. Let me try to add a note right here real quick. Long bullish divergence. So we had a absolutely very long bullish divergence down here. This bullish divergence lasted for a long time. A long time. So that was our absolute bottom. And this is a Bitcoin weekly chart. All right, I'm going to add this chart in here as well. Right. A few weeks pass by. A few. And this was the first time. This was the first time that we started getting really big buy pressure and this long bullish divergence for this time. Joe King says, how do you get liquidation lines on TradingView? Go to indicators. You go to liquidation levels. And there's a few liquidation levels. Mine's, it doesn't really show in here anymore. But there's a few up here that do show. You can play around with some of them. Some go to specific exchanges to the servers. I would not use BitMEX because they have like very little volume. This is the exchange Bitcoin went to 9K on. But you can look at some other, maybe like look at Bybit one right here. If Bob Cartels is right, you just play around with those. And if you guys want to see something, I'll show you the video of what happened at that time too, so we can learn. It's good to look back at these charts and have video at the same time, because seeing it play out in live and hear retail traders is good. But let's go to the video. Let's watch this live. Let's see what happened during the time at the bottom there. Like when I was right here calling the bottom, the absolute bottom. Let's see what people were doing and saying during this time. Because we saw what people were doing at the top. They went along the top on Bitcoin on the first dip that they could get. Really, you should be trying along the bottom on the first dips you can get at the bottoms, not the tops, okay? Buy green, sell red. This video is cool. I'll put it in the chat. You guys, you can watch this in the chat as well. You can look at the comments in the chat. For that day one. And then, And then I'll put
Be
this
wild.
up here too. I'll put both videos. And then we have the top signal there. Would you go long at 70K? But let's go through. I don't want to hold you up. Let's look at the YouTube chat first thing before we watch this video, just to see what the YouTube chat was thinking during this time. I think that's the number one thing that we could start looking at here. Let's move the camera back over to this side. I don't know if you guys can read this chat. Ortho says the volatility is just insane. Haifa says drop it, drop it, drop it. Come on, guys. Like, people are talking about drop it, drop it, drop it at the bottom. Brick Unit says, what's the news? Bridger Blook says FTX filed for bankruptcy. Fat Gordito says, I'm going to say this is the retest and we will bounce soon. Good job, Fat Gordito. You called it very well there. Shaw says, I was 3 cents away from a stop loss on FTX short. Thank God it did not hit. FTX bankruptcy, rip FTX, FTX to zero, FTT 0, ETH at $1,000 during this time. Woo-hoo. TSM says retrace back up a bit, question mark. What do you think? FTX files for bankruptcy. Let's see how this plays out though.
Yeah, I'm in Cali, so it's 6:41 a.m.
Oh shit! What part of Cali?
LA, the South.
Oh, I go over there a lot.
For work, what is it? For work?
No, I have a place out there.
What is it?
Working in in the downtown area.
Okay. Yeah, I stay in Norwalk. Shit.
Look at this. Mech says they want that FTT at 0. We were shorting FTT token during this time. I was in a big FTT short during this time. Like, we were shorting. Look at my Discord during that time. I said the number one reason to short FTT token at $22. Jim Cramer tweeted, Sam Bankman-Fried doles out credit lines to save crypto institutions. He's the new JP Morgan. Literally, this was your signal to short FTT token. I did one short, earned over 1,900% on a short. When we look back over here, at the beginning of the shorts, let's right here. There it goes. This was a big short entry at $22.40 for FTT token at this time. They were going bankrupt. Let's go on. Let's see where those green blots start getting drawn at. Right here. So Matic at $1. Very interesting. Very interesting. So it's very interesting. Note that green block for Matic at $1. Even now, we're under $1 drastically for Matic. We are under $1. We're at 46 cents. Matic just did really bad after Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook said that they're not going to use it for the Instagram NFTs.
Man, that's trash.
Yeah, it's not trash. It's a good network. I like it.
Oh my God. I mean, price-wise from where it was back then.
I know. This is worth looking into, see if there's potential buy opportunities coming soon. So I'm going to I get Matic on here for a bit. Let's go back to that video real quick. By the way, Bitcoin got a triple top from TradingView with the target at 55,697. Let's zoom in here real quick. I'm going to take a screenshot of this and it would bring us into liquidations. 55836.90. Wow. I'm just going to throw this in the chart channel and give it to some of the people that might not be watching their chart, that if they want to be looking for a triple top. This is a local triple top on a 5 minute. So only a 5 minute triple top. What are you doing, Imad? I hear you moving around. You in a trade right now?
Sorry about that. Yeah. No. I'm not. My bad.
No, I'm just curious. I heard some people saying when Doge goes to 10 cents, they're going to buy it, but some people didn't buy it.
I bought it.
And some people, when they told me they were going to buy it at 10 cents, I asked them, do you have a limit order at 10 cents or below just in case? Some people say yes. So let's go back to that video real quick and see what happened on this day one. So we started getting the green blocks right here coming in at this time. And look at these prices.
Oh yeah, I know where that's at. Buy Cerritos and stuff.
Actually, Doge is above this price still. Bitcoin's still above this price in ETH, just not Matic. Matic was pumped artificially by Disney and Facebook during this time. The two big corporations pumped Matic during this time. And then we saw people dumping it after news came out.
Simon.
Okay.
Joe
Who's
King
that
says, would
talking?
you consider adding a clock? YouTube already has a timer when you play back. All right, here we go. I'm going a little bit deeper.
It's hard to hear what they're saying on the video.
Man, that Shiba is holding strong, man. I mean, Dogecoin. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 8 cents. Yep, I'm trying to see which one, Bitcoin or this one. Maybe 7.5. No, what do you guys think?
Last time that it dropped
So someone said 7.5 there. I think they were talking about Doge hitting 7.5. They didn't want to buy at this bottom here at 8 cents. They were trying to wait for 7.5.
to 7.5, I was one of the first ones to buy. I like that number. But
8
then
cents is okay, though.
I like everything.
Sometimes waiting for that extra half a cent or 1 cent near the bottom, you'll miss it. The price will run out from under your feet and you will miss it. Same thing, waiting for that extra 1K to 5K on Bitcoin at tops, you might miss it, sell it and taking profit, and the price will fall under your feet.
Below that though.
Have we dropped to 6.5 or 6?
Someone is even saying 6.5 cents they wanted to buy Bitcoin here.
No.
Might be next. We'll see.
Yeah, I feel like if we keep pushing down to 15,500, we might see 7 cents for Doge.
So people are still predicting that it's going to go a little bit lower here, even though we're close to a bottom, close to an absolute bottom. They were still predicting lower. Let's play it just a little bit more.
It's
Oh,
still
it's
better
still-
to have patience.
Yeah, it's still early. Like some people are just.
How much you put in?
So that's me on my phone. I'm trying to draw all these green blocks, but I'm being very slow. This is on my phone. I was on my phone connecting to a server, trying to connect to the computer to draw green blocks at this time. And it took me forever. I got this green block. It took almost like 2-3 minutes later to get the ETH, Doge, and Bitcoin. But these were the prices I was trying to draw those green blocks.
What's that?
What was the price?
$3.10.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that's good.
320 or what? You're gonna write it to 330?
That's Drew talking.
Trying to
Is
see
he-
maybe
is he gone?
332.
Okay.
Hey, I'll be honest. I literally switched from Luna just because if I lose in something that everybody's trading, I just lost. No problem. Everybody does it. But if I lost in something that everybody's telling me not to trade, bro, it's horrible. All of you it's horrible. You don't care. You just pound people to death. I told you. We told.
So I was finally able to get all those green blocks drawn. It took me about 4 minutes total. But Doge was around 8.2. Bitcoin is around 16.7. We had those green blocks. And boom. Let me just map this, put it back in the chart channel as well. Just for reference, so we don't have to keep coming back and forth to this video.
Matic at $1.
Jesus
You couldn't
Christ.
even. That's ridiculous that it's at what it's at now.
Well, that's
Given how much-
well, it went there because remember, Facebook at that time was pumping it.
So the real price is 50 cents actually.
The real price is much lower than yeah, right now it's a more real price than we had before.
You said you were going to talk about it if it was a good deal now, or
No, I was going to start looking at researching it. I don't know if it's a good deal now. I have to check supply and everything and then look at the charts a little bit deeper, but I would be checking out for a buy. So if Matic actually made a bottom after Bitcoin goes to 40K, might start looking at potentially trading Matic for that.
Oh yeah. So I don't like that.
I look, Tim's back. He has
Yeah.
Tim's on.
So right here, this is when I got back. They were like Tame's back. Let's see what these guys are talking about now.
Your YouTube wasn't working.
Actually, this indicator that's showing here, you see the orange, the red, the green. Let's go to my TradingView chart real quick. This is a good indicator. Let's go to your indicators. Supply, demand, equal. Supply, demand. It's supply, demand, and equilibrium zones. This indicator right here, it's going to make your candles those colors. If you want those nice orange, red, green, dark green, light green. That's the indicator I had in that video. Take a screenshot real quick. And I just use the default settings.
hold on, I'm about to do it. Oh man, hurry up, phone. I got it.
There it goes. And it's by DGTRD. This would be a good indicator for you guys.
Let me get that on here.
Let's go back to that video. Let's listen to what a few retail traders were saying after we started recovering from that bottom.
Okay, bro.
But I don't complain. I make enough money over there. I lose a little bit, so we're good.
I even took a Matic long right here at less than $1, I think, or close to $1.
Oh my god, who would have known?
No, Matic went up a lot after this, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't do nothing tonight. No short. Look at that candle though. Hey, did you get out?
I forgot what you said. I don't have my pictures open. You said supply demand by who?
Let me take a screenshot for you.
Well, I have it in my phone, but yeah.
Supply, demand, equilibrium.
Oh, okay.
Just type the word supply and demand, then you're going to see from DGTRD.
Okay, I see it. Thanks.
I'll take a screenshot and add it up here as well.
I'll make it a favorite.
A lot of cool free indicators on TradingView that you can utilize. That's why I told people it's on sale now. Just buy it. $200 and some change for the whole year. It's fucking worth it.
Okay, where's the...
I think I misspelled the word. But let's go back. Let's see what people are saying because this is a critical moment for psychology.
Bro, I'm feeling like getting into ETH micro trade for a loan. They just are fitting right now.
When did you get in?
No. I'm thinking about getting into the loan. I'm just thinking in ETH.
Hey, Aaron, it's about to go get you. It's gonna go get you, bro.
Oh, right here. They were talking to Aaron. Literally right before this, there's a guy on my Discord named Aaron that had the really bright idea of shorting the bottom. He had the idea of shorting the bottom. And we were trying to tell Aaron, you should not be shorting near the bottom. And I think he got out on time, thankfully.
I know, it's cool. It's cool. Man, I hold it for so long. I can hold a little longer.
You're gonna wait until
Drop
it's
it.
negative.
It's going
again.
back up fast.
Yeah, bro, you need to get out. Hey,
What's the
Dogecoin.
closest,
you messed up.
Aaron? What's the closest you have been to your entry price or to
Look at this shit.
It's
Look
cool. I
at the
left it, guys. It's
Let's
cool.
go. Doge.
So you notice how fast it started ripping up during this time. It started ripping up during this time because you look at the chart here, TradingView. You look at the weekly, and we see back here at this time, November 11th on this day, we were already passed this chart pattern. You look back here, we had a triple bottom over here, then we started making more bottoms. This was a higher low, but we were in that oversold range. So we already completed the falling wedge. So people were waiting for another retest after this pump to get back in, and this was that retest. This was a big retest. So the confirmation-based trader that we talked about the other day actually outperformed the trader that is early. That early trader could have got in at the same time, though, because I was doing the early trading style too, but the confirmation got in around this November 11th, or possibly a little bit later, but they waited until after FTX went bankrupt. So within the next 4 weeks or 5 weeks, they got in, at least while Bitcoin was still under 20K during this time. So watching this chart, the video play out, seeing how fast it spiked back up, you see these bottoms. But imagine right here where 15 sits and then we go all the way up to 18K. That's over 16%. And then we had this big green bar. That's why we started dropping after this day. That's actually why this candle ended red instead of green, because we came up and then came back down. We'll go back, play it a little bit more, just listen for about 2 more minutes.
You caught it?
I just took profit.
So there goes someone taking profit on the very first pumps. The very first pumps after the bottom, that was Drew taking profits, and then I'm questioning him.
Did you take profit? Wait. Just wait. Let me tell you why that.
Man, I'm making money over here. Ow, let's go, baby.
Wait. Let me tell you why that drop happened. It's because BlockFi is not able to do business. They froze deposits. They froze withdrawals. People are scared, but we're already recovering from that dip. I think we can come all the way back up for Bitcoin, come back above 17,500. So it's going to be another $400 gap up for Bitcoin. It's going to be very fast.
What's his name? Resigned, and I think they went bankrupt also. So it's not. And
Yeah.
BlockFi's not that big of a news.
Yeah, BlockFi pulled the opposite, Drew. They said we are not business as usual.
Right.
But
BlockFi, though, they still didn't have too many funds. I mean, I still think they're small players.
how many people caught that Matic play I put in the share your entries channel at 9:38? I put it 10 minutes ago before this pump happened for Matic. We even dipped down a little bit more. I was able to get Matic one more time under $1. Feels so good.
Yeah, I bought a little bit right now. I'm mad at you.
Yeah, I'm switching.
Look at that wick. Look, Bitcoin already recovered. Look, Bitcoin already went 17.3.
That's
Wow.
not a recovery, though, Tam. Yeah, it's still in the ditch.
No, it's recovering.
It didn't make a higher high out of this whole dip yet, though. It's still.
No,
it's
this
still
is a higher high.
So Drew kept thinking at this time that this was not a higher high. This was a very big higher high, especially measured like the candle previously. That was a very big higher high, and we even touched the moving average. It's hard for you to see here, but we touched the moving average and the 200 EMA during the same time. So during this time, not only did we hit the bottom, not only were the technicals on our side they oversold, as we can see back here in the charts, we also have my green blocks. Our side oversold. We started, we still had the bearish divergence, but we were ending it. But we had the fundamentals and the news playing out in our favor, and people still were reluctant that this was going to recover for crypto.
Out of the dip. This is a higher high out of the dip, Drew. What time frame we were on?
It's a recovery. It hasn't recovered yet, though.
No, it's recovered on 5 minutes. On 5 minutes, we're away. We made a higher low and a higher high within a 10, 20 minutes. Look.
And there goes Bitcoin. It broke 17K.
This higher high, we haven't had a higher high like this in over 20 minutes. Look at this.
Yeah, I was watching.
Look, 35 minutes, 40 minutes. We had a higher high 40 minutes.
17,544, though.
No, we already went up there. We are.
So here's my technique. Here's my specialty. I've already been mapping out this weekly and daily for a long time, so I knew when they were in my favor that I would just drill it down, drop it to the very short time frame, and when that 4 hour, hourly, 30 minute, 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute, when they were all sits oversold at the same time, that it could have been a good entry. And how did they all get so oversold at the same time? Because FTX was dumping everything. And I believe somebody from FTX or an employee that quit there or resigned or maybe he's in prison right now started shorting before they dumped everything on another account just to get money, to have money, extra money, and to hedge that they were going to go under. So I knew that when they were finally under that we were going to start to bounce. And that's why I started going long heavily. That's why I told everybody that was day one of the crypto bull market. So if you can use even some of these few indicators that I'm teaching you, maybe someday you guys will be calling bottoms or tops while I'm watching YouTube and I'm not trading anymore. I'm just watching as an audience member. That could be something.
Already made a higher high for this candle for 35 minutes.
And I'm here arguing with Drew about higher high. And when you look at the higher high chart patterns, like it's simple mathematics. Don't make this very complicated. Don't make it complicated. Look. This is what a higher high looks like. We have a higher high. We also had higher lows at the same time. It's very simple. Don't make it like art or anything so confusing. Is price higher? Yes. Is the candle body higher? Yes. Is basically this candle right here that's green is the higher high. The red candle before it, that's the first candle. That's the comparison. In this video here, were we making a higher high? Yes. It's a much higher high for the candle. Oh, you guys can't see it. There it goes. Bitcoin was making a higher high. Doge was making a higher high. ETH, Matic, they all made those higher highs. And we play this a little bit lower. We can see those higher lows as well.
I'm just thinking we're still in a downtrend. That's my opinion. It's a profit.
Well, the people that bought down here, they're already
So in my YouTube, sometime my Discord, some people they get super bearish at the bottoms, they get super bullish at the tops. That's a part of the human psychology you have to get rid of if you want to be a really good trader.
in a profit compared to the people that are going to wait until we're all the way back at 17.5.
Yeah.
You don't see 10K before we recover before.
And let's just play this video like hours later. Look at this hours later. Let me move my face. So a few hours later, look at Bitcoin from the green block. Boom, we kind of recover. Doge, we started recovering. And then we started getting higher highs on bigger time frames too, which was very good. Go near the end of the stream. And you can see here, Doge wicked up to 8.6. Bitcoin was already coming back up through the liquidations. Tapped 17.2. Matic broke above $1.05 during this time. And ETH broke above 430. ETH ran. ETH ran almost the hardest during this time. For that short period of time. And then if you watch the streams like just a few weeks later, Bitcoin within a few weeks was above that $20,000.
Transferred to me. And what?
So that's another thing to consider is when you start making those higher highs and higher lows. That's another bullish indicator that you can use when you're trading. And it's very simple. If someone argues with you about it's not a higher high or it's not a higher low, just draw a line. Is a line up higher here? Yes. Is a line higher here? Yes. Boom. Very simple definition. We live in a world today where people want to have a definition and an identity for everything, and they want to confuse everything for you guys. Don't be confused. Keep it simple. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the narrative. There's people out there that want to tell you that legacy chart patterns, legacy RSI, legacy indicators, legacy timeframes, legacy definitions of bull and bear markets do not work in crypto. But those are the same people that go long at the top and short the bottom. Let me be the one to tell you that those legacy definitions will absolutely work for crypto when you're doing your trading. These legacy chart patterns that were originally designed for stocks do work for crypto. Now, you do have to modify some of your indicators like the relative strength in this. I believe that if you put your input to sits for RSI, it will give you a better setting. By the way, Doge has come up through these liquidations very big. My current trade, I'm up a decent amount in this current trade. I think this is up over 500% so far. I don't have the percentage on there, just P&L. This like over 500%. But this trade, I will earn over $20,000 on Doge by the time we are back above 36 cents. Just from a few of these trades. And that recent bottom really helped me out drastically. I was getting wrecked a little bit on the way down. Had to adjust my margin. Had to add more margin. Had to close some contracts at a loss. Open up new contracts. Hedge a little bit here and there. But I was able to save the trade and keep it running. And then I guess some of you guys saw it live. Like at one point it was a down negative 900. and then within a few hours back up positive 500. So able to save that trade. We have more time if you want to go over some more chart patterns. You guys want to learn a little bit more. I'm going to go with the bull flag and bear flag.
Yeah, I was in kind of the same situation, except I just closed my stuff, my trade out, and I never came back in. And I'm still sitting here.
So Joe says, how did you save your trade? I just added more margin from my spot trading to my futures trading, and every time Doge dropped by 1 cent on spot, I would add over $1,000, possibly up to 10,000 every 1 cent drop under 10 cents. So if it hits 9 cents, boom, 10,000. 8 cents, boom, 10,000. 7 cents, boom, $10,000 more buy, all the way down to 1 cent. If that was the case for Doge, and that could be a good dollar cost average strategy starting at 10 cents and below. I'll call it the 10 cents and below DCA. But yeah, we have a little bit more time. Let's go to the bull flag. I like the bull flag, and also TradingView does a good idea of mapping out these bull flags as well. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna open a new chart so that I can have all this stuff saved. Let me save this chart. We're gonna load a format. I'm just gonna make a copy. Bull flag and bear flag. You can make a copy on TradingView if you don't want to save over what you're doing. And then I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go to delete all drawings. 248 drawings. Boom, deleted like that. We're going to go up here. I'm going to take off the rising wedge. I'm going to take off falling wedge. I'm going to take off these lines as well for this chart. Anything else I need to take off? Not really. So we're going to go to bull flag. Go to technicals, patterns, and it's going to be bullish flag chart pattern. Boom. This is actually a very good one. I'm glad we're starting on the bull flag on the weekly, because I know that this was invalidated, and I was even predicting in the Discord that this was going to be invalidated. Let me see if I can pull that up so I don't have to double talk about this. Great. I already talked about this in the Discord. Ha! Fantastic. So I said bull flags generally fell when RSI is completely overbought from the beginning of the flag on daily, weekly RSI being oversold. So if we look right here, this was that bull flag that we were forming on Bitcoin. This is the data that we had. We were still at 62K, but this bull flag right here, I was predicting that it was going to fail because the RSI was completely overbought. Look at this RSI here in this red block. Generally, when the RSI is completely overbought on the big time frames like the weekly, the monthly, these bull flags are not going to play out. It's going to be very hard for the Bitcoin bull flags to break out. So if you think the bull flag is going to fail, you could start shorting it. You could start shorting it on the double top of that flagpole right there. So let's go over here. I'm going to give you that strategy real quick. Let me turn off my Doge long. I'll go back and watch it later. This is the Bitcoin weekly chart. Bull flag failure. How to trade it? How to trade it? 1. Short or take profit at double top of flag. So this one's very, very, very good to consider. If you're going to short it or take profit at double top of flag, it's going to look like this. And we had a problem there that we didn't get a double top. So it's going to be a double top of flag or after or near. And for that, what that would look like here, this double top, when we zoom out, we can just, let's make it very simple. Short or take profit after double top forming flag formed. So this is going to be the flag right here. This is the flag right here. I already have this drawn, this beige color line. And we're gonna add a call out right here. We missed this top, but we'll say right here, this was the top and this was the top. I'm gonna make sure that they're touching right here. And this is almost like a triple top or close to a quadruple top. It's just a little bit of percentage difference right here, not that much, less than 2%. So we'll give it to it. But 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like quadruple top. This is triple top. Let's add the note here. And I'm just going to make all the take profits reds. And this is the double top right here. This. All right, so we're gonna wait. So we're waiting here. This is on a weekly, but the problem with this strategy, you had to wait over 28 days and close to 84 days. This is your last chance, by the way. This is the last opportunity for really taking profits. If you look right here, because we're gaining bearish divergence. Let me add that note down here.
So you're saying that the market could go lower?
At this time, it could have, and even right now, Bitcoin could go lower. Like we're still not at 40K. We're not completely oversold yet for Bitcoin. We're nowhere near the same metrics as when Bitcoin is at 17K. And there's big players with over 300,000 combined Bitcoin, even as far as 500,000, that want to sell it. They want to exit. And they found out the hard way yesterday that they tried to sell on July 4th, America's Independence Day, when we had some of the lowest trading volume and some of the lowest liquidity on that day. They tried to sell into that low liquidity. That's why the price started dropping hard. And this is the really interesting part right here. The RSI was overbought and was leaning into that bearish divergence. So this is another bad area that people really, if they're waiting for this take profit, these take profits, we're going to have big wicks. So the people that took the profits on these double tops after this bull flag, they predict the bull flag is going to fail. They're going to take profit on one of these double tops. And this is like almost triple top. 1, 2, 3. I would say triple or quadruple top. But yeah, this quad top price started falling hard. Let me add that note. So after we have 4 tops in a row on the weekly up here, price started coming down hard for Bitcoin. And I'm just teaching people how to potentially take profits if they think that the bull flag is going to fail. So let me ask you, who just asked me if I think the markets are going to go lower? Do you know how much liquidity are in all the exchanges combined versus the amount of Bitcoin that could be sold?
Oh, no, sorry about that. I was doing something. No, how does that work?
So basically, if there's not a buyer and you're selling, price is going to bleed down.
Yeah, yesterday was pretty crazy. I caught Doge in the bottom, like at under 10 cents. But
so
yeah,
so here's the thing. Here's the thing that I want you to measure then. Look at Doge and measure how far it is below the all-time high for its chart.
Well, it's pretty bad. I was like kind of worried. I thought it was going to be like at 8 cents, but it's pretty low right now. I mean, 10 cents, it's all right, but it's down a lot compared to where it was at a couple weeks ago.
So let me see if I can copy message URL. Boom. Yep. So if you measure those numbers, Bitcoin is actually closer to all-time high than Doge. So that would make Doge a better buy when it gets oversold on a weekly. So in the Discord charts, I put this Bitcoin chart in there if you guys want to take a screenshot on YouTube real quick. But I also added this chart that I posted a long time ago showing that this bullish divergence, they typically fell. And if they typically fell, we're not going to hit that big 150K, 130K target. And price is probably going to come down. Price will probably come down drastically. And did the price come down drastically? Yes. Price now over 56,000. So, we saw that so end result, big players started dumping after the weekly bull flag failure when RSI was overbought, and we started gaining bearish divergence on larger time frames. Bitcoin went from over 73K down to under 53.5 in just 112 days. So what did I warn you guys about the 100-day mark? If Bitcoin did not make a higher high over 100 days, historically we drop hard. So let's see the 100-day mark. Let's look at the 100-day mark from all-time high real quick to map that out. I want to map that exact candle. Right here, this candle, I see it. So this was the moment we had over 100 days a no all-time high for Bitcoin. So this actually the moment we started getting the most bearish momentum. And how far did we fall from there? Well, 2 days later, we had a big drop down. And then within 2 weeks, we actually had the biggest drop that we've seen on Bitcoin in a while. So from the 64K down to the bottom was a big drop over 16.91%. And I'm zooming in here. Take a screenshot of this. I'm going to add that on the chart because we're diving deeper to see what happens when a bull flag fails. But when you think a bull flag is going to work, it's the opposite. You're going to go up just as much. So the guy I was just talking to about liquidity, the big pumps in Bitcoin comes from low liquidity. And when people are buying in low liquidity, you get bigger pumps and bigger drops. And that's why the price can go up 200-300% sometimes, but it can only drop 99%. So how many days of take profits did people have after this moment in time? 15 days. This was just 15 days after the last chance to take profits on Bitcoin near one of the triple or one of the quad tops. So I added that in the chart shown as well. You guys can look at that if you're in the Discord to go over that chart. It's a very educational to be looking back and looking at this historically to think about what may happen to Bitcoin or another coin in the future. Because these charts, I think it's going to help you guys, these chart patterns. But let's go through here and let's find the opposite. Let's find something bullish. I think I want to use Nvidia stock. I think Nvidia, the way the chart forms, it's probably going to have a good bull flag for me. Let me see real quick. Right here. This is the bull flag for Nvidia. And we hit the target. And we used Nvidia the other day as well. With this. So I don't want to mess up this chart. So I'm going to. Yeah, I'm just going to save it right here. Let me delete all these drawings that we used in the trade the other day to show how someone went from 10K to 55K on Nvidia. Yeah, we had the news, the 10-1 stock split, but I don't want to look at that. I want to look at the bull flag on the daily. And I don't want to see all this other stuff. We had some bullish chart patterns as well as down here, but let's really focus in on the area of the bull flag. I don't need to see anything else over here. I just want to see the bull flag and that target. It did fail. It fell technically because of this drop right here. I remember this area. Insider sold over $100 million worth of shares. Man, if that insider would have waited like a little bit, like spread it out, they would not have dropped the price, fell the bull flag. But the pattern was there, so we didn't know it was going to fail. We didn't know it was going to fail. So let's talk about playing this anyways, because we're talking about it's forming. We don't know it's going to fail, so we're going to go under the illusion that it's going to succeed. Mm. Mm. So we're just going to go under the assumption that the retail trader was predicting that Nvidia would have a successful bull flag. And how would you play this successful bull flag? Well, how to trade. So one, purchase stocks when RSI oversold as close to or below the flag on a retest. So you don't have to buy exactly there, because usually bull flags, they don't just do this and then pop up. Sometimes they have dips. People take profits. We had an insider taking profits over here. So you would wait until the RSI is oversold and or wait until some bullish divergence. And we're going to add the chart here. RSI was not oversold until down here at 13. I'm going to add this note right here. So this is a lot of words up here. Let me try to separate this for you guys real quick. Or I can make this just a little bit smaller. Just a little bit smaller, one more font size down. And we can try to get everything that we need. So we finally had the RSI oversold down here. Boom. And that was on April 22nd. And that is oversold right here. This is after insider sold. Under green block, this is when the RSI was oversold. And what? And we didn't get bullish divergence until after RSI is oversold, because it's going to be a lagging. But the bullish divergence came right here at 82. So RSI is oversold at 77.85. Our divergence, bullish divergence, started coming in right here, closer to 84.77. 84.77. So and then after they accumulate the stock, take profit when it's completely overbought after the news. So 3, take profit after news comes out, or after news. Let's just wait until the stock split, and RSI completely overbought. So it's just 2 simple requirements. This would be your plan for the trade for Nvidia. This has historically worked for Nvidia over the past 10 years. It's worked for Nvidia. If you just want to make one quick trade for the year, so you would purchase a stock when RSI is oversold. Boom, we have the RSI oversold down here, and you buy it right here. And this is the bull flag, predicting that the bull flag would succeed. let me make this white right here. Might be a little bit easy to read, and then pull this down just a tad bit. Boom, this looks good. So let me add this right here. NVDA bull flag trading. And now I'll make this yellow. All right, cool. So this is first part, and then I have to go over, take a screenshot of the take profit side as well for this trade. But this is just showing you an entry. Like you use the bull flag, you can use it for entry, and some people would take profits. They would take it at the top of the bull flag if they're just want a quick trade. Or B, if you want to maximize it, we're talking about maximize your profit. You wait until after that stock split. You wait until that news. You wait until after the keynotes. You wait until Jensen Huang comes on the stage and talks about having servers with over 1 million graphic cards. 1 million of their graphics cards. To maximize your profits. So let's pretend that the retail trader did not look at Nvidia until right here. They missed all the other stuff because they were in Bitcoin early. They started selling their Bitcoin about 69, 70K, and then they started looking at Nvidia. Because if you look at this chart back here for Bitcoin that I posted in the Discord, back in March, right up here, they were, so March and April, let's just imagine that those were the people taking profits. So I'm going to add this to the Discord. I'll let you guys watch me live while I type, or you can just look at the chart. Now, imagine those people started taking profits on Bitcoin in March and April, looked for an Nvidia entry. They would have used the bull flag to try and gain an entry. Here is how they purchased Nvidia. And I'm going to put this in the chart channel, this chart for you guys. Boom. So this is what that's going to look like. So the people that were here took profit on their Bitcoin at one of these tops, and they wanted to move to something safer like a stock like Nvidia. They would have used this strategy to get their entry. Maybe they were just writing up Bitcoin, didn't want to trade stocks. They had enough time to take profits on their Bitcoin while this flag was forming, and transfer money to their bank into their Charles Schwab account, and then start accumulating more Nvidia. And then let's see where they would have taken profit on Nvidia after the earnings, and then completely overbought. So this was the peak of the earnings, and I had the earnings date here. I'm going to pop it up in the Discord real quick. You can type Nvidia or NVDA in the Discord search as well. It's lots of charts in there for you guys. I may have not saved this chart. Let me show you though. After, it's like up here. So I mapped this out, thankfully. And then it's like over here for the stock split side. But I want to get the exact date. So that was June 7th, I believe. And that was after the market closed on Friday. So people weren't really trading it until the next day. But June 17th, 10-1 stock split. So you weren't able to trade it until the following Monday, unless you traded it after markets. So they would have started taking profits after our size overbought, and that could have been any of these days, really. That could have been any of these days after that split. So let's just pick a low point here at $130.37. I said something about Nvidia not too long ago. Let's see what tametheark said about Nvidia, because I've been researching this stock since 2016. I even knew about it back before then because of their products. Let me let's see when tametheark got out. I said, Nvidia top signal, I will no longer be holding the stock from here. Good luck to all the holders. Been following researching the stock since 2016, and I feel this is my best spot to sell. We surpassed my weekly red block significantly. I'm ready to let go, and that was at 1209. So just divide that by 10, and I'll draw a line there where I got out. So I got out pre-split, by the way. I got out pre-split. And that was on June 7th. So so I'll add that to the chart as well. So this is when I took profits. And then after I took profit, did price come up a lot? Yes. It actually came up over 14% after I took profits. But let's imagine if the retail trader got in down here from the bull flag strategy. They wanted to wait until the news came out to maximize their profits. And then they took profits around 130 on that. Well, 130 is still like $10 above mine. So it's almost 71% profits for that. It's almost 71% profits. I'll add that in the chart channel. It's very interesting. Put like where I took out as well. And a lot of that money went into GameStop. Oh, I need to add down here. Were retail traders. Were retail trader take profit on bull flag breakout. Plus news and our site overbought. Let's not say news. Let's say catalyst from 10 to 1 stock split, because that's the basis of taking profit. You wait until the stock split. And let's add this to the chart as well. All right, boom. Now we can add this to charts channel. All right. And the price is still up a little bit from my take profit, but down a lot from where this bull flag trader would have taken profits. So I think this is a strategy. And moving forward, like, this is helping me by teaching you guys a little bit about these strategies. It's going to help my strategy improve over the year as well. I really want 2025 to be that last year. And let's add this to the chart channel real quick. What's up, Joe?
What up?
And this would have been about 72% P&L. So this looks very simple to trade in theory when we're looking at it and mapping it out, but in practice, this takes a lot of hard work, takes a lot of focus and dedication. But I was just wanting to show you how you can trade the bull flag hoping that the price goes up, and I'll show you the bull flag earlier in case the price is going to go down, and show you how to make money from both sides. Nvidia expecting the bull flag to break out because of the 10-to-1 stock split catalyst. It allowed the traders to enter on that dip after the bull flag was done forming. Even it potentially fell, but you're still expecting it can go up. And then we did go up. It's just the delay. And the only reason this candle failed right here, it was some of the insiders taking profits pre-split, and that created a bigger dip than normal. So you have to think about that abnormal data and filter it out of your mind when you're looking at the charts sometimes. Otherwise, that data will get skewed and mess you up for trading. For example, if you're trading Luna, you don't want the price of $200 from the before to be in your moving average for anything. You have to filter out that old data to trade the current, because you have supply over 13 trillion now. All right. I think those are some good chart patterns that can help maximize your trades for entries, for take profits. And there's so many more chart patterns that you can use. These were just a few, and it took us over 2 hours just to explain these few in depth so you guys can understand. So I challenge you for their homework. I'm going to give the homework real quick. I'll put it in the announcements. Homework for camp charts. Camp charts tonight. Create a chart using one of these patterns and predict a trade from it. Include entry and possible strategy for your take profit. Example are in charts that I used like this. And then you just put it in the chart channel when you're done. Oh. I'm gonna put an easy one in there for you guys. All right, so the homework's gonna be basically like what we just did. You just take a chart, make sure you have your chart ticker so we know what it is. You can put it on the daily or the weekly. Try not to put it on anything lower than the 4 hour if you have to. And give us a trader assumption what the trader is predicting, if the bull flag will be successful or a failure. It could be a rising wedge, falling wedge, bull flag, bear flag. Write how to trade it, and show us a chart here, what you just see, all the data that you see. It can be a chart that we see now. You don't have to go back to a past chart. I'm going to say you can use a past chart, though. You can use a old chart if you want to. Keep time frames above 4 hours minimum. So charts allowed 4 hour, daily, weekly are good time frames for these chart patterns to combine with other indicators and patterns. Use bull flag, bear flag, rising wedge, or falling wedge. Thesis will be stronger if you can combine more than one chart pattern. Post your homework in charts. And this will, like, doing these small tasks that I'm providing you guys with in the announcements and stuff, this will make it better. And reminder, Joe, do you have TradingView Premium? Or did you see that they have it on sale right now?
No, I just have regular TradingView. What is it on sale for?
Oh, 70% off. They have it for Independence Day. I'm looking right here. For the premium, like with the AI chart patterns, it's only $17.98 per month, which is $215.78 per year. That's almost the same price as Plus, just 2 cents more per month. So I think it's worth it. You're going to save over $500 per year doing this. And this was a link that they shared on Twitter earlier, so definitely you can get 70% off. This is already my current plan. I don't know if it'll let me renew it more with this. Let me find out. Oh, here goes the code up here. Use independence, blah, 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 blah. So we went over the charts today. We went over TradingView. We had a Bitcoin. Let's go back to the other charts to see how we're, oh my God, Doge is ripping. But yeah, I'm up over $600 on this long. But yeah, do the homework. You're going to learn a little bit more by practicing that homework. And if you have a good chart, other people want to see that chart. But yeah, Matic is also climbing down here as well. It wants to go back up towards that 50 cents. So, yeah, when Doge goes to 36 cents, my long will be worth over $20,000. Possibly more. I might add more if we do a retrace. Elon tweeted flight 5 in 4 weeks for his Starship. So his rocket business is booming right now. Man, when we break 11 cents, that may create a little bit of FOMO tonight for the retail traders. And that TradingView going on sale after this big dip, oh my God, brilliant, like brilliant marketing. And the price of the premium compared to plus, almost everybody. Nobody should be selecting plus when it's only 2 cents. Anybody can find 2 pennies laying on the ground, 2 cents more.
Is there a button on TradingView to delete all the indicators that you have open?
Yes. Watch my chart right now real quick. YouTube can't see this, but YouTube can't see this, but at the very bottom, you see that trash can right here that says remove objects?
Okay.
You click that, click the arrow. The arrow can remove drawings or indicators.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
You have any more questions about TradingView before I hop off here and end this lesson for the evening?
Nope. Yeah.
Go ahead.
TradingView. I had that code for that indicator you made.
Supply, demand. Okay, my green blocks. Yes.
Yeah, and I've been having it on there, and I didn't do nothing. And I just went and looked the other day, and TradingView removed it.
They'll do that sometimes because it's not published and they didn't publish it. I didn't publish it on there.
So it's gone now.
Yes.
Tame, I got a question.
What's up, Joe?
What's up
Can
with
I have
BTC's dominance? What's the BTC percent dominance right now?
Let me check.
I'm just at work. I'm just curious.
Yeah. 55%. Almost
Really?
exactly
Okay.
55% right now. It was going down today as the alt started their strong recovery. And the reason for that, Joe, is because Bitcoin was closer to all-time high than most of these alts, especially alts like Matic. Matic's all-time high was back when Bitcoin was at 16K, so you have to consider that.
That's really when Matic went up and ripped up there, didn't it?
Doge is far from all-time high. ETHW is super far from all-time high when ETHW is over $100 because people were market buying it in the beginning. But guys, I'm going to end this lesson unless anybody else has another question, and I'll restart the auto charts, and you can subscribe to that.
What's that in the bottom right corner? What's that? 0.47.
This is Matic.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, Joe, are you going to buy the TradingView while it's on sale?
Yeah, it's pretty cheap for less than $18. It's kind of worth it to do the premium.
Like you might be able to make $18 on one trade, and that's in 1 month. Just from help from their AI chart patterns, or just the option of adding more indicators on your chart or having more tabs open. You can even connect 50 parallel chart connections. You can even add 400 price alerts. That's a lot of price alerts to add. Like you can map out a whole month of price alerts with that.
Is there a higher tier than the premium? Because it looks like those.
Yeah, but you don't need
like
those.
Halfway. All right,
and they're not on sale. Like you can get Expert for $200 a month or Ultimate for $500 per month. But you don't need those. I don't even use those. Those are more for like the stocks if you want like more real-time data and less delay on the options and stuff. But you can buy like professional data. But a lot of people publish that data on Twitter already. But I'm not paying $500 per month for a chart. But the most you really need to pay is that premium, which is worth it. Man, we are ripping up here. My long is printing on Doge after this recovery from the bottom. I'm going to throw it back on the automatic chart. I'm still in Discord, so let me end this stream and we'll throw it back to the automatic